What's going on, Denver? How are y'all doing this beautiful? What is today? I don't even know what day it is. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, May 2nd. Can't believe it's May. Was debating earlier. Do I turn my sprinklers on? Do I wait another week? If you live in Colorado, you know how tough that is, man. But hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I'm super excited, man. It's been nice to have a couple of days off, with from sports. We had a wicked last couple of weeks with the Avalanche and the Nuggets. As we're getting ready for the next series. Both teams moved on. Both teams 1-5, dominated at the end of the day, and I'm excited. But what I'm really, really excited about coming off the post Broncos draft hype is I'm super excited about this Nuggets and this Timberwolves series. It's being talked about, but it's not. It's being talked about a lot here locally, but it's not going to get the national media buzz like you would because the babies of the media like the Lakers aren't really in it. The Celtics are going to be in another series. So they'll be talking about the Celtics. They'll be talking about the Knicks. They'll be talking about a lot of other teams. And I don't know the kind of hype the series is going to be, but this one has potential to be genuinely an all-time classic. I think it's the two best teams in the Western Conference going up against each other in the second round. And it was something that we were worried about. A lot of NBA Nuggets fans, they were wanting to get the one seed in hopes to avoid Minnesota or be able to get Minnesota as late as possible. But let me tell you guys something. The Denver Nuggets have something that the Minnesota Timberwolves do not have, right? And that is the best player in the NBA in Nikola Jokic and an unbelievably clutch player in Jamal Murray. Now, overall, looking at the series, this is by far and away the hardest test that we'll face in the playoffs, all the way really to the finals, and probably even arguably if we make it to the finals, whoever we end up playing. For a couple of different reasons, actually. One is Minnesota is the best defensive team in the NBA. They averaged giving up about 106 points a game. That is number one in the NBA, and it's not surprising because that is how they've built their team. And kudos to them, man. They got rid of some guys for other assets, as they saw Anthony. They ended up getting Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is an absolute superstar. They got Karl Anthony Towns. They've got Rudy Gobert. Obviously, they got just a lot of really, really great defensive players. So it's going to be interesting to see how do they match up against the Denver Nuggets. Historically, it's been a really good matchup for the Timberwolves. They've found out a way to really limit that two-game ball and be able to kind of hold them back a little bit. But the playoffs is completely different. The fact that we have home court is going to be huge in the series, but the playoffs, the intensity is different. And even looking back to last year, you can make the argument that of all of the series that we played all the way up into the championship run that the Nuggets had, the toughest series was Minnesota. Now, granted, we did win it in four, but they seem to give us a lot of those. They're tough. Take how hard it is that you seem like we worked to beat the Lakers and multiply that by two or three. This team, they're dogs. And now one thing that the Nuggets got is the Nuggets have playoff experience. They have an unbelievable ability to show up for big games, play suffocating fourth quarter defense. And so that's why this whole series is going to be epic. I think every game is going to be close. I mean, you look at what the Timberwolves did to the Suns. Now, I did have the Timberwolves, winning that series, but I was like, I wouldn't be so surprised if the Suns beat them. But the fact that the Suns got swept was crazy. But if you look at the playoff experience, man, this is a whole different ball game for teams. And I think the lack of experience for Minnesota could come to bite them and could come to hurt them. But I'm excited about this, man, because you've got a team in Denver who really hasn't even been playing their best basketball lately. That's kind of the biggest concern. Coming off of hopefully 4 days full rest, if they can come out and be healthy for the series, and Jamal Murray and Kentavious Caldwell Pope and those kind of guys can be healthy. I'm very optimistic about the way that the series can go because I feel like anything that Minnesota can throw at you, the Nuggets can throw at them too. We're built very similarly from a team structure standpoint. We've got our guys that can score. We've got guys that can shoot from the perimeter. But we've also have elite defenders like they do, right? So I feel like anything that they can throw at us, we can counter, which is why I really believe this series is going to come down to the bench, right? So when you look at it, our bench is elite when it comes to defending. You can bring Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, a lot of these guys off the bench, and they could guard anybody, and they're going to bring a lot of that defensive energy. But how are they going to be able to score? Is Reggie Jackson going to be able to get buckets like he's shown at Spurs that he is? Is Peyton Watson's shot gonna fall? Can he turn a lot of those blocks that he has defensively into offensive fast break points? And then Christian Brown, man, Christian Brown for a while had a little spurt where he was scoring buckets offensively too. And so it's really going to come down to that. And I'm really curious to see how is how is Michael Malone going to manage the bench? You know, and it was the 8 team. It was a starting five, and then it was really essentially the entire series. We mixed in DeAndre Jordan game one, but essentially it was like Reggie Jackson, Christian Brown, and Peyton Watson playing. We'd mix in a little bit of Justin Holiday if we needed some buckets, but otherwise that was pretty much the bench. Well, we might have to rely a little bit more on a Zeke Naji or a DeAndre Jordan in this particular series, just because we'll need to be able to match up with their size because there are some dogs out there. They really, really are. So I think that the bench is going to be the key role. This is a series where I feel like the Nuggets could really, really miss Bruce Brown. You know, I really feel like that they could. And, you know, we'll have to go ahead and see. The Minnesota coach did come off of surgery. He actually had surgery. He got ran into. I don't know what he ended up messing, but I heard that he ended up having surgery on his knee to do something. So kudos to him, man. I hope he's good. Obviously, you never want to see that happen, and hopefully he's going to be fine to be able to play in the series. Now, on the flip side, you know, in Minnesota, you've got a lot of things to love, right? I mean, you've got you know, Jaden McDaniel, who's somebody that can ball and get some minutes. Obviously, Anthony Edwards is a superstar. Some people still think he's Michael Jordan's son. I don't know, but the guy's got a lot of Jordan in him. He's an absolute baller. And it's going to be interesting to see how do we play him defensively. Is it going to be are we going to ask Jamal Murray to just guard him up as much as he can one-on-one and have to match him scoring? Or are we going to rotate him with KCP defensively and then see what it is that we do offensively? So I'm excited to see the chess match. You know, they've got a really good mix of young superstar guys, right? Like I talked about, but then they have a lot of really good players that are vets that kind of play their role really well. You know, the TJ Warrens, the Michael Conleys, those kind of guys that really can have specific roles, but can do their thing. So they're a team that's built, man. They're a team that is built to win. Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, they're going to be a tough matchup. And I think we can counter them. Like I said, we can counter them with Jokic. We can counter them with Aaron Gordon defensively. Peyton Watson can come in and guard one of those big guys too. So I'm not so much worried about if they're going to be able to score on the Nuggets, but I'm more worried about how much more they can score than the Nuggets ultimately do. So this is one of those series, man, where obviously every game is important, but the home games especially, the Nuggets need to find out a way to protect home court, keep the home court advantage in the series, and that can dissipate quickly given the fact that, you know, the first 2 games are here in Denver. But it's going to be about wearing them out, getting them to run. There's no better offense to a really, really good defense than when you're spreading the floor, when you're able to get fast break, when you're able to run them a little bit, especially tire them out when they're here. But it's going to be a dogfight, man. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the Nuggets are ultimately going to win? Are they going to lose? Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And it would really help me out to if you can hit that subscribe button for me so I can get this channel growing. For those of you, this is your first time tuning in, thank you. I really appreciate it. My name is Mark. I am a Colorado native. And I've always just been a huge sports nut that's, you know, annoying my wife or annoying my friends or just getting frustrated in group chats that I'm not able to fully discuss my opinion and my thoughts on things. I focus this channel on all Denver sports. It's going to be mainly Broncos content, but especially now as we get into the playoffs, I'll be hitting the Avs up hard, and I'll be, you know, talking about the Nuggets obviously a lot as well. And I'm just here to, you know, like I said, share my opinions. But my big thing is I want to create a community, and I want you guys to be able to comment in the section, whether it's giving me feedback on my channel, whether you guys want to get on the channel and be featured, whether, you know, you have an opinion that you want to share or some sort of a counter argument. I'm all for it, guys. There is no egos here, and there's nothing that's going to offend me or bother me or anything. In fact, I encourage it. So by all means, I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on that. If I had to make a prediction, I don't like to make predictions, but I do believe genuinely, wholeheartedly. Not even try. I always try to keep the you know, the bias or the local. You know, they call them orange colored glasses for the Broncos. So I guess what this would be like yellow colored lenses. I do try to stay very very neutral, but I am very optimistic about the Nuggets in this series because of their ability to just find a way to win big games. Their fourth quarter defense is suffocating. So if you don't put them away early, man, they've got a chance to, the opponents don't really feel confident in terms of them being able to win the game. And I feel like as well as good of a matchup as it is for Minnesota, we don't really necessarily match up well against them. Or I guess in a way you can say they can match up with us kind of pound for pound in a sense of from a size standpoint. I still think ultimately we're a more talented team. I think that this is going to be a series where Aaron Gordon is going to need to repeat his performance like he did. Michael Porter Jr. is obviously going to have his shot fall, and the bench is going to have to show up. But I think that they do. I don't think that this goes to 7. I think that the Nuggets will ultimately win this in 6, but it'll be a dogfight of a battle. And I can't wait to cover game 1 with y'all. Saturday is when it's happening. The time has not been announced. I'm hoping it's going to be like one of those primetime games, but I mean, who knows? You know how the NBA is when it comes to the Nuggets and the Timberwolves small market. So we'll see. But we'll recap that game and we'll talk about the keys as well. Once the Avalanche matchup is decided between the Stars and the Golden Knights, I'll have a preview about that series as well. And then in the next couple days, starting really tomorrow, I'm going to start breaking down every single undrafted free agent that the Broncos signed, discuss some particularly go a little bit more in depth, and then I'll discuss a little bit about, do I think that they'll make the team? Do I think they'll be a practice squad, or do I ultimately not think they make it, and kind of put a rating on it? So the chances of making the team versus the chances of making the practice squad, and then ultimately getting cut. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy it with the ones that you love. Mile high salute to you guys all. And until next time, peace out.